Hello, my name's Eric, and in this video I'll be sharing some starting tips for no-hitting Elden Ring Nightreign. I'll be assuming that you are familiar with the game's mechanics, bosses, armaments, and characters ahead of time. First things first is deciding which character you want to use. Some Nightfarers give themselves better to no-hit runs than others. Iron Eye, for an example, has the range advantage, Duchess has invisibility, Wilder has his ult, and Executor can just about parry everything. While on the other hand, Raider can't benefit from his damage reduction on the skill. Recluse and Revenant will have to be methodical while casting spells and incants, and Bird Person has horrible dodge frames. Although all Nightfarers have their own downsides and upsides, I believe some are more equipped for no-hit runs due to the nature of what a no-hit run is. So, at the very least, it'll require some more changes to the playstyle and options you have for doing this run. Next up, the relics. If you have a set you're comfortable with and familiar with your damage and stats while using, I suggest to use that first before deciding on any changes. Generally speaking, the relics won't make or break your run, however, they can make your life a whole lot easier. If at some point you wanted to change your relic set and maybe you're lacking some good relics or relic effects, that would be helpful to have, or even certain effects that the RNG wasn't kind enough to give you, you could cheat, not mod, them into your game. Personally, I prefer to do it vanilla. I have over 700 hours of in-game time and 350 hours of expedition time alone, which means I have farmed a lot of mercs and I have a lot of relics, so generally I already almost have anything I need. But let's say, for example, you've spent maybe a couple of hundred hours on the game and you're still lacking some really useful relic effects. Like, for an example, Iron Eye has a double cast for his skill with a relic effect, or Recluse's Terra Magica when she absorbs an element, or even an Ash of War, like Hoarfrost, if you haven't gotten Caligo's relic. You could artificially add suitable relics with those effects. However, it is imperative you check what is and isn't allowed as relic effect combination before you do this, lest you risk your account getting banned for cheating. You can find the resources to do this safely on Nexus mods, and there's probably a YouTube video out there that can help you out with that. Now, you've picked what character you want to play, and you got your relics set up. Next is to choose which expedition you want to no-hit. Let's assume you want to do Tricephalus, or Gladius, the dog. Personally, I would suggest downloading the Arena mod for this and practice the fight. Also, you can find it on Nexus. You should get to know all of his attacks, his openings, and all of his different phases and how they play out. I usually like to do it at level 15 with +2 class weapon, like the base weapon that comes with the character, and no buffs aside from Exalted Flesh and the Turtleneck, since you can buy those before you walk into the Night Lord. If I can beat the Night Lord no hit with the guaranteed bare minimum, that is, level 15, the uh, the physical damage boost from the flesh, the exalted flesh, and the turtleneck for the stamina regen, and a +2 weapon because getting the smithing stones isn't that difficult to do, without getting hit and stuff. Um, if I can do it with those being the bare minimum, it'll only be easier with the myriad of buffs and weapons you could collect during the run. Now, we get to the execution heavy part, the map. While you could spam runs into every random map seed you get, I find it more suitable to know what I'm playing into and what seed I'm getting. Every Night Lord has 20 standard map variations, 5 for each shifting Earth event, so that's another 20, not including DLC added maps or DLC expeditions that have the double amount thanks to the Great Hollows DLC map. All the different map seeds are valid for a no-hit challenge, so I prefer to look through all of them and find the one I think would be easiest or more suitable for my class, and I would just keep rolling for it. That's just how I do it. And yes, it does get very tedious. For example, getting the demi-human queen and the sword master as a night boss in night one can be difficult to deal with a character like Executor, who excels more in 1v1 fights, like against the Bellbearing Hunter. But for someone like Wilder, Recluse, Duchess, or Iron Eye, who either have the weapons or the ults that can handle a gank fight, like with the demi-humans, would have easier time beating them more consistently without getting hit. So whether you want to roll for a specific map or keep attempting different map seeds at random, it's all valid. You do what you want. Now, I do have some random general tips for doing no hit. Number one, Hoarfrost, the Ash of War, is goated. You can get it from the Caligo's relic if you've beaten Caligo. It's really good. Uh, it has the concealed effect for when something nearby gets hit with frost, so it can do great for clearing out hordes or even in boss fights. Number two, crit damage can skyrocket with the right build and buffs, which could nuke Night Lord's HPs. Number three, learn the ins, learn the outs of the map, especially the castle. You don't want to get hit by some random archer or some flying bat in the marshes or aggro some random field boss when you're not ready. Number four, Crucible Knights are the best castle variation for rune farming on day one. You're effectively guaranteed level 15 on the first night if you can clear the whole castle from basement to rooftop. But just getting the Crucible Knights alone is like easily level 12 in night one. Number five, stay clear of trolls' line of sight at all times. If you get trolls at the castle, their pots go farther than you think. Number six, listen carefully for scarabs. If you happen to pass by one, getting a ritual sword talisman or a graven mass talisman can be huge for the damage throughout the whole run. Especially with the ritual sword talisman, because it works with everything and you're not going to get hit, so you're always going to be at full HP. And even if you get like a talisman that increases your HP bar and then you can just heal back up, it's not a hit, so you can still make use of the effect. Number seven, make sure to buy all the extra chalices from the little jar guy and the collector's signboard to have all the relic color combinations available for when you're setting up your build. Sometimes you might have a certain effect that you want from a relic that's in a color that you can't fit into the other stuff. It's You probably already know about this. Number 8, Incants and Ashes of War, the ones that buff your damage, are easily worth 2 or 3 weapon slots, even if the weapons and like the armaments themselves don't have a useful passive. Number 9, if you plan on rolling for seeds to get the one you want, check the Shifting Earth map seeds in case there's one that's good or that you like. Rolling for one map out of 5 is a lot better than rolling for one out of 40. And also, quitting to the main menu, although, you fail the run, obviously, but it does not remove the Shifting Earth event, which means you can like keep spamming and rolling for new seeds um, without the Shifting Earth going away, and then you needing to spend, Everdark sigils to reactivate it at the collector signboard, or even waiting for it to happen naturally. Number 10, depending on your character choice, the one that you want to play with, some ults can stun bosses and Night Lords out of some of their attacks, or at least give you the iframes needed to dodge big, scary AoE attacks like Heelster's phase transitions or Morgott's dagger spam. Number 11, Learn the chest spawns and all of the points of interest you might visit. They're always static aside from the treasure ones. But the chests that spawn in like forts and castles and stuff, they're always at the same spot, and you'll generally get something, at, at least usable. Or sometimes, you could easily get a weapon with a really nice passive that you can make a lot of use of. Number 12, consumables are generally slept on, as far as I've seen, playing casually with randoms, but they can offer a great deal of utility, whether from damage, with pots and stuff, or you can get the golden foul feet for extra rune acquisition, or simply luring out enemies. If you want to like separate enemies from like a camp or something, so that you don't have to like walk into multiple of them. You can just pull one out, throw a dart or something at them. They'll walk up to you, you kill them, and then slowly but surely. Number 13. Get familiar with how fast you build up ult charge for when you may need it. Okay, you can always stall out a fight, especially in like in night one, or more actually, more likely you could use it in night two. Um, if it's a boss that you can actually like stall out, without killing, you'll still continue to build up um, ult charge, so that maybe if you think you're gonna need it early on in the fight against the Night Lord, that way you'll have it available. Because as soon as the night boss dies, you stop building up ult charge, and you won't be building up any ult charge in the tree before you enter the Night Lord's arena. Um, Number 14. Everjails fell out of the meta with the introduction of the DLC, and actually since Everdark, since the Deep of Night was added to the game, people stopped using the Everjails. But if you're doing, a normal run that's not in Deep of Night, or on the DLC map, Everjails are still really good for the power boost with the right relics. Number 15. Some Nightfarers may have some unique tech, like Executor's different parry techs and the quick sheath and unsheath stuff, or um, knowing that Iron Eye has like a bunch of, aside from the iframes, I guess, you can change direction during the dash from his skill. That could be very useful. Maybe sometimes, like, whatever you're fighting is on the ground and you don't want to dash through them and get on the other side. You want to stay on the side where you're standing. You can just quickly like move your character such that you just barely hit them with the skill and then retreat back to the same spot you were at. Make sure you're familiar with your character um, of choice that might, have some unique tech like that. Number 16. Get familiar with your character's base stamina. The last thing you want is to to get yourself into negative stamina while you greed for an extra attack, and then you have to wait even longer before you can roll another time, and then it could cost you a run. Number 17, um, which is lastly, if you're struggling with a certain boss or a Night Lord, don't hesitate to look up a guide on it or watch someone no hit it. Um, like 99% of the stuff you fight in this game, already exist in base Elden Ring. You can surely find all you need to know about anything, fighting wise, on YouTube at this point. Um, or maybe if you want to like find a good relic setup, you can do that too, especially if it's someone who, is doing a no-hit run in their video. You can maybe like copy their relic build and stuff. I personally have 6 plus 1 DLC Night Lord fights no hit on my channel. You could refer to some of those videos for strategy or something like that. A lot of them are done with Executor, so I do be parrying a lot of stuff. But certain bosses like Sentient Pest or Fulgor or even the Dreglord from the DLC, um, I'm not particularly parrying a lot of things in those fights. So whatever strategy and however I do it should generally work almost the same for any other character. All right. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask in the comments. That'll be all for me. Good luck out there, and thanks for watching.
You can shoot him as they're coming towards you.
He's dead. He's dead.
GG.
Got him.
World's
GG.
first. World's first.
World's
World's
first,
first.
baby. World's first,
World's
baby. Let's
first. Let's
go.
go!
Let's fucking go.
Let's go!
Woo! No
Don't
hit,
forget to show
no
your relics.
damage. Oh, yeah.
Show your relics. Don't forget to show the
Yeah,
relics.
these are the buffs. These are the relics.
These are the relics. Light work.
Light work.
Gunnar reaction.